This week, we're starting a new book. We finished Shmot, Exodus, and now we're starting Leviticus. We're starting the third book, Vayikra. That most of the book deals with the sacrifices and the way we worship God through the temporary temple, the Mishkan. In our Parashat, we talk about the various different sacrifices. Orla, Shlamim. One of the main sacrifices is what's called a chatat. A chatat is the sacrifice you bring when you do a chet. So there's a pasuk in the middle of the parasha that says, "Daber el bnei Yisrael lemor nefesh ki techeta bishgaga mikol mitzvot Adonai asher lo ta'asena v'asa me'achat mehena." A person that did a chet, but he did it by accident. He didn't do it on purpose. He didn't have intention here. He did it bishgaga, what we call in Hebrew. Now, if we want to understand what a chet is actually, and that's why I continue saying chet, and I'm not saying a sin, because if I ask you to translate what a chet is, then most people will come and say it's a sin. But the truth is that in Hebrew, a chet is not a sin. A chet is a mistake. It's le'achti. In Hebrew, he missed. That is exactly a chet. It gives a different perspective. But let's really understand what chet are we actually talking about. So the Vilna Gaon comes and says, and we've done it before, that when we want to recognize something, we should go to the first place that it exists. So where's the first chet? Of course, Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden. I want you to take 2 seconds and think, what was the mistake that Adam and Eve did? Now, while you're thinking about that chet, I'll tell you a story that comes in our parasha, in the Midrash. The scholars tell us a story about a garden keeper that brings 2 guards to keep the garden while he's away. One is a blind man, and one is a cripple. One doesn't have his legs, and one can't see. And he leaves them in the garden and says, don't eat from the fruits and vegetables, even though they look great. I want you just to watch the place. And they say, fine. A few days go by, suddenly the cripple says to the blind man, wow, what a beautiful fruit. I got to eat from it. And the blind man says, really? I can't see it. He says, I can see it, but I can't reach it. So they start thinking, and together they decide, okay. The blind man says, I'll be your legs and you'll be my eyes. The blind man puts the cripple on his shoulders and they walk over to the fruit. He picks the fruit, they eat, they're having a great time, great fruit. A few days go by, the keeper comes back and he turns to the blind man and says, hey, who ate from my tree? The blind man says, me? What tree? What are you talking about? I don't see anything. He goes to the cripple and he says, so did you eat from the tree? And the cripple says, I didn't eat from the tree. I can't even reach that tree. And it's so high up, I couldn't even reach it. Even if I would get to the tree, I couldn't reach it. It wasn't me. Adam and Eve, many times when we look at Adam and Eve, we always think that the mistake that they did was that they ate from the fruit. And I claim otherwise. I think that that was built in. They were supposed to eat from the fruit. But what was the real mistake is that when God comes to Adam and says, what happened? Adam says, it was Eve. When he comes to Eve, she says, it was the snake. We keep on passing the buck. In our lives, it also happens. If we have a hard test, if we have a business, if we have anything that we have that we're challenged with, we come and we start passing the buck. It was difficult because it was a pop quiz and it was really tough and all that. We never think about ourselves. We never take responsibility. And I think that is the secret of this parasha. Is come and take responsibility. Yeah, you might do a mistake, but the real mistake is if you continue missing. If you really don't take responsibility and understand and recognize, it was my responsibility to take it. And we don't continue passing the buck. I'm a cripple, I can't see, it's not my fault. It is my fault. And I'm taking responsibility and I'm starting the recognition by making a sacrifice, by stopping and starting the process of bettering myself. Let's start recognizing our mistakes, and then we'll be a better society. Shabbat Shalom.